Hello, this is the Lord's Legion yet again with a brand new Avengers Alliance video. And in this video we're going to be reviewing the general recruitment heroes. What I mean by general recruitment heroes means that these are the heroes that you can unlock through command points after the game's launch. Now bear this in mind, I don't have every single general recruitment hero. However, if you want to look for a specific hero that you're interested in, look at the description down below and then look for the shortcut to that specific hero and see my quick little review of them. So without further ado, let's begin with reviewing the general recruitment heroes. Now first of all, we're going to begin with Black Panther, who not only was the first ever general recruitment hero, but was also the first general recruitment hero that I've unlocked after the game's launch. And I've got to be honest, I really loved Black Panther from the day he got released, and even after he got nerfed a lot in the game after his release, I still thought he was an amazing hero regardless. His level 1 and level 9 can ignore so many defenses, and not only that, his level 1 and level 2 can increase both his accuracy and evasion. But what really works about Black Panther is his level 6, because his level 6 can literally boost his accuracy and evasion, and on top of that he can also be capable of doing follow-up attacks as well as counter attacks. So in a way he is a tactician slash infiltrator slash scrapper as well, so that's kind of a win-win-win. Next we have the Scarlet Witch, who was a fan favourite for a very long time in PvP. For starters, she could dodge attacks a lot quicker than most others, plus her level 1 could do Hexed, which could literally backfire anyone's attacks. Her level 6 ability grants them a Chaos Shield in which they could get healed from attacks instead of getting damaged, plus with a few additional buffs. And her level 9 could literally debuff the entire enemy team and give buffs to her allies. Honestly, Scarlet Witch is such a wild card, but at the same time she can be very reliable in a sense. As long as you have your cards right, then Scarlet Witch can be devastating. And at the end of the day, Scarlet Witch is such a fun character. Next up we have Quicksilver. Now right off the bat, Quicksilver can have 2 turns in a single round, and not only that, he usually gets the first action, which that in itself gives him a huge advantage over most characters. Plus if he uses level 1, then he can grant quickness. Not only will it improve his accuracy and evasion by 10%, but he also has a chance to counterattack. And if he uses E-ISO, these quickness will never fade away. Plus his level 6 can be very fatal if using the right setup. The only downside to Quicksilver is the fact that he is very weak. However, if you could use some ISOs and improve his strength, then chances are he will be a lot better and you'll be very satisfied with Quicksilver. Now we get to Rogue, and she is very interesting. For starters, she is a generalist, so therefore she has no weaknesses from any other classes. Plus if you can use her level 2 on any enemy, then she will get the advantages of any class, and will never get any of their disadvantages. Not to mention that her level 6 can heal herself and gain some stamina back, and on top of that her level 9 can grant her at least 2 extra turns. Now with all that being said, Rogue has a lot of abilities at her disposal that is very useful, and the fact that she can never gain any disadvantages of any classes that she absorbs makes it all the more fascinating. And if you use the right setup, then she can cause a lot of damage with her level 1. And with all that being said, Rogue is a very solid character. Following up with Rogue, we get to Gambit. And I've got to say again, Gambit can be a very hard hitting tank. His main trump card is getting his kinetic charges, and with that he could use his level 2 attack numerous times in a turn depending on the amount of kinetic charges that he has. Or he could keep all the kinetic charges and use his level 6 so that he can exploit exposure and pain. And if you can add his A-ISO onto his level 9, then he could literally make the whole enemy team get flanked so that he could do nothing but follow-up attacks. And overall, I always found Gambit to be a very fun character to play as. Next we have Beast, and despite how he's more of a defensive character, he really does not lack as an offensive character either. With his level 2, he is capable of pinpointing any enemy, and then he could counter-attack anything the enemy does, whether it's an offensive action or a defense action. And similar to Scarlet Witch's level 6, Beast can go ahead and give his whole allies random buffs. Plus, the more he does defensive actions, the more he's gonna be able to have his next attack to be even more dangerous. And let's not forget, Beast can be very powerful in his own right, and he can do some pretty high damage. Next we have Tigra, and she is... That's not to say that she is a bad character, she is not, it's just that she kinda gets overshadowed by other bleed characters. Her level 1 can do deadly crits, and when it does do a critical hit, it is a very good attack. Her level 2 is a quick action and she can trigger off any bleeds. And of course her level 6 can trigger her Tiger Fury, which increases her attack and defense. And maybe I just needed to play as Tigra a lot more, but she is by no means a bad character. I'm just not very used to playing as her, is all I'm really saying. Up next we have Hercules, and he has always been one hell of a blast. His level 1 can increase his defense, his level 2 can increase his accuracy, his level 3 can not only make him more agile but can also protect characters and counterattack. And of course his level 9 can not only increase his strength but is also an AoE attack that can potentially stun an entire team. And if he gains all these buffs at the same time, he will become even more powerful and can even heal himself. Now admittedly it's a bit of a chore if you have him on his own trying to reach that full potential, but if you have like a team up that could do rise enough buffs, then chances are he will be a lot easier to become more powerful, and then he could just have potential to even do a one-shot kill. Next we have Captain Britain, who kinda plays like Hercules, however in a slightly different way. And although Hercules is more about buffing himself, Captain Britain is more about Paragon exploiters. And what I mean by that is that the more he could weaken an enemy and make them more exposed and slowed and even dizzy, then chances are they will become depowered to the point, and then he can even gain health from beating that enemy. And even his level 9 could literally do a one-hit KO at that certain enemy. And I wish I had a little bit more time on him as well, but I can't deny that Captain Britain is a very solid character in his own right. Next we have the Black Knight, and honestly I find it very hard to play as this character. At this point he had so many buffs and nerfs, it was kinda hard to keep track on this character. His main shtick was mostly about bleeds as well as protecting characters and absorb some damage so that he can increase his level 1 or 6 attack. Though it was interesting that his level 9 was a summon attack that could intimidate the whole enemy team. And in PvP he was a huge pain in the ass to kill because at some points he could literally survive a punch and not get any health took off him. Admittedly my experience with the Black Knight is very minimum, however I feel like he could be a very good character, it's just the fact that I suck as him. Next we get to Thundra, and again I couldn't really get into this character. Honestly it felt like such a chore to buff her up correctly as well as setting up her kill move. And maybe I had the wrong team ups for her, but honestly I just could not play as this character. Like she could do really good damage, don't get me wrong, and her E-ISO of making her keep her buffs is a really nice touch. But at the end of the day, I just find it really difficult to play as Thundra. Not to mention that there are much better characters that could do the same type of thing that she can. Next we get to Wasp, and the more I play as Wasp, the more I actually love this character. You can use her level 6 attack and add some debuffs to the enemy team, as well as making her nimble, making her have a 50% chance of dodging any enemy attacks. Her level 2 attack can remove any enemy buffs, which will make it a pain in the ass for them. Plus her level 1 can do biofeedback, in which not only is a poison effect, but can also give them a chance to be stunned. And if you use her E-ISO, then it gives it a 100% chance of countering any enemy attacks that is affected by any opportunist effects. And considering she's already an infiltrator, if she already has combat reflexes and she gets hit, then she could do literally 2 counter attacks. And for these reasons, I always consider Wasp to be a very fun character to play as. Next we have Dr. Voodoo, and he has a lot of abilities that he could do at his disposal. His level 6 in particular is a multi-function and comes with several abilities. He can give Death Frost as well as Dark Void to the whole enemy team, and not only that, he could drain stamina and can even phase himself. Plus his level 2 can exploit attrition, as well as can even grant his whole team some health. Add in the fact that he's immune to all harmful magic effects, then Dr. Voodoo is a very brilliant character. Next we have Fandral, and considering he is both a tactician and an infiltrator, that gives him a huge variety in what he can do. His level 1 can do pressure points, as well as capable of making the enemies be even more harmed by counterattacks. His level 2 can make him counter anyone's attack and depower them, making them unable to debuff you. And of course his level 9 is an AoE attack, in which can make all the enemies bleed 3 times, as well as being tenderized, making them more vulnerable to slashing attacks. Although he is both a tactician and an infiltrator, that comes at a price that he has both of their weaknesses. But despite that, Fandral is a solid character, and I wish I played as him a little more. Now we get to Gamora, and again she's also one of these characters that I wish I played a little more. However, I do have a good sense on how she plays like. Her main shtick is mostly about the Doom debuff, in which if you can trigger it off at the right time, can literally drain the enemy's health. Plus her level 9 has Fatal Blow, and that is a very nice touch. Plus she is a master assassin, in which she can do some pre-counters before the enemy could even do that attack. But if you can team it up with Drax, who both characters can do some bleed effects, then you're in for one big treat, because both of them can do very high damage with the bleed effects. Next we have Groot, and he is amazing on defense. Now his attacks are pretty meh, mainly because his accuracy is terrible. But if you have the right team up, in which could do Paragon Exploiters as well as Rise Enough buffs, then Groot's level 9 could be very devastating to the whole enemy team. But Groot's strength mainly comes from the defensive side, as he can protect any attack from anyone, so long as they're not stealthy of course. And when he dies, he can come back as his baby form and give a lot of Rise Enough buffs, extra turns, and even some heals. And in my opinion, Groot is probably one of the best characters to have in terms of defense. Now we get to Elsa Bloodstone, and she is amazing. Her level 2 can pinpoint any enemy, and she can counter any of their offensive or defensive actions. Plus that could also give her Rise Enough buffs, in which will make her level 9 one-hit kill even more devastating. Plus even if you can regain some stamina and recharge, she can regen some health and remove some harmful debuffs. Now Elsa is nothing too overpowered like Cloak and Dagger for instance, however she does have enough at her disposal to make her a very amazing hero. Plus with the potential one-hit KO on her level 9 is a good enough reason to get this character. Next we get to Richard Rider, or shall I call him Nova Prime. Now Nova Prime is a blaster and a bruiser, and already that is a very fatal combination in terms of damage. Plus he has so many multifunction actions, it is unbelievable. But of course his main shtick is about doing some opportunist debuffs as well as some pressure points in order to do his level 6 justice. And if you set it up correctly, his level 6 is capable of wiping out the whole enemy team. And at the end of the day, Richard Rider was a huge shock to me, and I'm so glad I was able to play as Nova Prime because he is such a solid character. Next we get to Spider-Man 2099, and despite not being incredibly overpowered, he is phenomenal in his own right in terms of offense. And considering that he's a scrapper, you could use his level 2 on an infiltrator, which could poison them, and then he'll follow that up with a weapon ability. That is a very easy setup to his level 9 ability, in which could devastate a single target, as that attack could exploit bleeds, poison, and even weapon. And on top of that could even trigger the bleeds. Add in the fact that he can also do mirror image so that he can dodge enemy attacks, as well as do some weak points on the whole enemy team so that he can do critical hits. Then Spider-Man 2099 is one of the best spiders out there. Next we get to Spider-Gwen, and despite getting panned for being so weak, I honestly think she's not a bad character at all. He normally has a high chance unto doing follow-up attacks to anyone who's affected by being webbed. As long as the enemy is webbed, then you could do nothing but hit level 2 and cause some pain drain. Not to mention that hit level 6 is a quick action AoE attack that could set up the webbed on the entire enemy team. Not to mention that hit level 9 can exploit weapon as well as protection and even exposure. Now Spider-Gwen can be a decent character if she has another spider character with her. But at the end of the day, she could have been better, but at the same time she could have been much worse. Next we get to the amazing Spider-Woman, and she was pretty insane back in her day. However, I'm gonna call her Mayday because it's a lot quicker and I prefer that name over Amazing Spider-Woman. But regardless, you can stack up Mayday's ability so that not only will she become even stronger as time goes by, but she is also capable of getting some good extra turns. She also has a quick action level 6 in which can not only ground the whole enemy team, but also magnetize them and make them unable to do critical hits. Plus her level 9 attack can do devastating damage that could exploit weapon and magnetize. I do wish I had more time with this character though, because she was one of the last characters I unlocked in the game. But it was fun playing as Mayday while it lasted. Now we get to Gorgon, and his power of doing a one-hit KO is legendary. His attacks is based purely on Paragon exploiters, and if you use his level 9 while having some rising up buffs, then you'll be so shocked at what he is capable of doing with that KO. And when people talk about his one hit KO, they are not over exaggerating in the slightest. Also add in the fact that he's immune to all pressure point debuffs, and he can apply that to any other Inhuman, then you can tell that Gorgon is a solid character. Now we get to the Queen of Inhumans herself, Medusa. And honest to God, I wish I played as her a lot more because there's a lot more than meets the eye with her. This is mostly due to the fact that she was one of the last characters I unlocked in the game, but I wish I unlocked it a lot sooner because she seems so fun. For starters, she is immune to any opportunist debuffs, and she can also apply that to any other Inhuman. Plus her level 1 can exploit stuns and can even do deadly crits. Her level 2 can even counter Scrappers, which are her rival class, so that she will not be harmed by follow-up attacks. Plus she can take reduced damage from certain enemy attacks, and can even tie up enemies so that she can just protect certain allies and can even counter their attacks. Medusa is a solid character, but I do wish I had more time with her. And finally we get to White Tiger, and what can I say other than White Tiger? She was made to be like the god mod of Avengers Alliance. If you can use her level 9 quick action, then it will make her stats off the charts, and then her level 9 can even do one hit KOs. Also add in the fact that she can do bleeds, preemptively counter attacks, immune to all damage over time effects, and the fact that she can gain stamina and health through regeneration each round. And on top of that, she's even immune to fear effects. At the end of the day, White Tiger was made to be broken. She was made to be the most powerful character in Avengers Alliance, and no one can even rival her. So what do you think of all these heroes in Avengers Alliance? Please comment below and share some thoughts. And as always, thank you guys for watching this video. Please like and subscribe. Take care, and as always, have a good one.